Hey guys, so for today's video, I'm going to be revisiting my 2021 makeup favorites, and we're going to talk about whether or not they're still favorites. Do I still enjoy and use these products? Have some been replaced? Yes. I've never done this style of video before, but I really enjoyed filming this. I also used all the products on my face today that I'm talking about, so you will see footage of me applying them as I'm talking about them. I will leave my 2021 makeup favorites video linked down below if you want to check it out. And I did want to mention that the way I film those videos is I talk about the products that were launched in that year. So all the products I'm talking about today were launched in 2021, and we're going to see if they're still a favorite. All right, starting with palettes, my first favorite was the Sigma Cinderella eyeshadow palette. So I used the crap out of this palette when it launched in 2021. I think I have like 5 or 6 videos using it on my channel already. This also was a palette that I kept on top of my desk almost all of last year, 2022. So when I say this is still a favorite, maybe not like a favorite, but is it one of my favorite Sigma palettes? Yes. So the next palette I talked about was the Dominique Cosmetics Transition Palette, and I actually just decluttered this the other week. I was going through my eyeshadow palette collection and I was trying to decide, like, I was asking myself, have I used this recently? Do I want to use it soon? Or like, does this hold any special meaning to me? And for the transition palette, the answer was no to all of those, so I ended up decluttering it. I will pop up a picture right here if you haven't seen it before, but it is called the transition palette. So all the shades are like matte transition shades that you can use like in your crease. You can also use the shades for blush, bronzer, contour, brows, things like that. But I just found myself never really reaching for that palette, so it is no longer in my collection, so no, it is no longer a favorite. Next, I talked about the Natasha Denona Glam Face Palettes, and today I used the light one on my eyes. So here is what this palette looks like, and in case you want to know what I did on my eyes today, I packed the transition shade all over my lid up into my crease, and then I added the crease shade on my lid. This is weird to talk about it this way. And then I used the smoke shade on my lower lash line and a little bit on my outer corner, and I used the shade inner corner on my inner corner, and then I did use the highlighter in Star Glow on my cheeks. So honestly, I haven't really reached for these palettes a lot, but they kind of live like in the back of my mind. Like if I knew I was going out or traveling and needed something really simple and easy, I would totally grab for this. Here's what the dark one looks like if you haven't seen it yet. Like I just love the idea of this palette having a blush, a highlighter, and 5 beautiful shades that go like perfectly together. I did mention in the original video that the light was my favorite, and I still agree and I still stick to that. So are these palettes still a favorite? I wouldn't say favorite, but I definitely enjoy using them. They're just not at like the top of my list anymore. The last palette I talked about is the Sigma Ritzy eyeshadow palette, and this is a beautiful eyeshadow palette. In 2021 they came out with 6 9-pan versions of this kind of palette. Each one had like a different color story, and this one is still my favorite out of the 6. I did go on vacation last year sometime in 2022. I don't remember where I was, but I did bring this palette with me because it's just such a good travel friendly palette. I love all the shades in here and how it's not like your typical warm browns. Like it's kind of fun and a little grungy with like this kind of muted pukey shade. I love this one up here. Like I just love this whole palette. So again, I think this kind of lives like with the Sigma Cinderella palette. It's not my favorite palette as of now, but it's still one of my favorite Sigma palettes. All right, moving right along, we have the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. Yes, this is still a favorite. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. It is actually in my current Shop My Stash. I'm wearing it today, and I have been loving wearing this recently. I've been talking a lot about how I just really like more tinted moisturizers and lightweight foundations, so I've been using this nonstop since 2021. Like I always go back to it. This does lean a little more like satiny matte, so if I want something less glowy than like my Urban Decay Hydromaniac, I will use this. So yes, it is still a favorite. Okay, next was the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix Eye Brightener in Melon, and that favorite has been replaced with the Sigma Under Eye Color Corrector in Light Medium. I ended up decluttering that Fenty Beauty eye brightener sometime last year. I think I was kind of going through all my concealers and I just never really used it because I kept using this. If you guys watch my videos, you know I absolutely love this. I'm literally almost out of it. That's how good it is. This is also in my current project pan. I use this every single day, whether I'm doing a no makeup look or just a full face of makeup like today. It's just one of the best under eye brighteners I have used. So sorry to the Fenty Beauty eye brightener, but you have been replaced. All right, next was the Anastasia Magic Touch Concealer. And Okay, here's what happened. I was rewatching my 2021 favorites video last night, and when I was talking about this concealer, I was like, oh, I have had this concealer since 2021 because recently I've been feeling like the formula is going a little bit bad, and so I've just now realized how old this actually is, which makes sense why it's going a little bad. It kind of like separates and gets a little gunky, and I think it's starting to smell a little bit, so I actually did put this product in my project pan, but I think I need to just kind of throw it away because it's gone bad at this point. Anyways, the question is this still a favorite? Yes and no. Like, if this concealer wasn't going bad, it would still probably be one of my most used in my collection. But I do have another concealer that I think I like just the same as this, which is the Sephora Collection Best Skin Ever concealer. And this concealer is like $15. This one's like, what, 20, 30 something? So yeah. So the Best Skin Ever concealer is a full coverage multi-use concealer. I love a full coverage concealer because I use these under my eyes and to spot conceal. So I just always gravitate towards a full coverage concealer. These are both full coverage concealers, but if I had to pick one, I think I'll go Sephora Collection just because it's cheaper and you can usually get some kind of sale on Sephora Collection as well. So sorry Anastasia, but you have been replaced. Okay, next is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer. If you watch my videos, this is the only eyeshadow primer I use. So I have been using this since it came out in 2021. It's still my favorite. It's still the best eyeshadow primer I have ever used. Obsessed, 10 out of 10, would recommend. I love how lightweight it is, but it also has like a little bit of a tint to it, so it covers up any discoloration, any redness on your eyelids. It makes my eyeshadow last all day. My shadows blend beautifully on top of it. Like, this is the best one I have used. So yes, it is still a favorite, and it is like the favorite for me. So next is the Rare Beauty Melting Blush in Nearly Neutral. I would say this is still a favorite. It's in my project pan, so I'm using it consistently right now, and it's just like the perfect everyday blush color. I also just love the formula of these blushes. They're very creamy, they're not too pigmented, so they're not like hard to work with at all. I ended up liking this formula so much that I did buy a second shade. I did buy Nearly Apricot, which I haven't used as much as Nearly Neutral, but I still love this color, especially for like the spring and summer. So I would definitely say this is still a favorite. Next we have another cream blush. This is the Milk Cosmetics Cream Blushlight in Honey Thief. Yes, it is still a favorite. This is one of my favorite cream blush formulas, and how it's different from like the Rare Beauty one. This one is a pigmented blush. You will see me apply this. You literally dip your brush into it once and you have so much pigment, but you have plenty of time to blend it out. It's not like the liquid Rare Beauty ones where you like apply it and you have to blend it out right away. You have plenty of time to work this product. The shade is beautiful. Also has like a really nice smell to it, so I ended up liking this one so much that I did buy a second shade since that video. I bought the shade Sandy Cheeks. So here is Honey Thief, here is Sandy Cheeks. I would say yes, it is still a favorite for me. All right, next we have another cream blush. I promise it's the last cream blush, and this is the Makeup by Mario blush stick in the shade Raspberry. So it looks like this. I don't think this is still a favorite for me anymore, just because I don't think I like the stick application of these. I think I just prefer a compact for my cream blushes and really be able to control the amount of product I pick up with a brush. Whereas I feel like with this, like, you don't really have much control over it. This color is also just very, very bright. I'm gonna keep it because it's nice to have something this bright in my collection. I'll definitely grab this out in the summer and try to get some more use out of it, but I don't know, it's not a favorite anymore. I like other ones better. All right, next is a powder blush, and this is the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Powder Blush in Creamy Peach. And in my notes, I wrote meh. Apparently that's how I feel about this blush when I was planning out this video yesterday. I did pop a little bit of this on my cheeks and I did enjoy the colors. I think I used this so much in 2021 and then I just kind of stopped using it, so it's definitely not a favorite anymore, and I kind of like don't remember what I loved about it. So I think I just need to put this in like a Shop My Stash and try it out again and see if I will fall back in love with it or not. So next is the Makeup by Mario highlighter in the shade Pearl, and I actually don't have it anymore because I did end up decluttering it. I just didn't really like the shade that much as I was trying to use it. I almost feel like it had like a pinky peach undertone to it, but like also being champagne. I just never really liked it. It didn't really have much of a glow, so it has definitely been replaced in my collection with the Rare Beauty highlighter in Enlighten. I have been using this nonstop since it came out. Was it last year or earlier this year? I don't remember. I think I just bought that Makeup by Mario one because like his brand is just so hyped up, you know, like all his products are beautiful. I love the packaging and everything. So I think I just wanted to try the highlighter. Ended up not loving it in the long run, but this Rare Beauty one, I do love. Okay, next I have two Glowish products to talk about. I have a bronzer and a blush. Let's start with the blush because it's not a favorite, but when I used it today, I was like, ooh, this is really, really pretty. I want to use this more. Like this blush is pretty pigmented. The shade I have is Berry Juicy, but I love how it looks on my cheeks right now. I also love the little bit of a glow it has in it, hence the Glowish name. I remember saying I wanted to buy more shades, but I never ended up doing that. I don't think I will because I'm just trying to use the blushes I have in my collection, as you know, but I don't think it's a favorite, but I still enjoy this product and I really liked using it today, so I want to get more use out of it. Now the bronzer, on the other hand, I just don't think I really like anymore. I have the shade medium, and for a while I thought I had some like hard pan in it, so I tried to get rid of the hard pan and I used it today and I just feel like no color showed up. Let me try to swatch this. Like, there's like nothing there. And so I don't know if it's just like gone bad or what, but like I could barely use this on my face today. This is definitely not a favorite anymore. I don't know if I really like replaced it with anything, but if you want to know of a bronzer that I do love that kind of still has that glowy sheen to it, would be the Hourglass bronzers. These are so freaking beautiful. It's in my project pan right now, and they have so many shades of this bronzer. The glow it gives is beautiful. It's nice and pigmented. It hasn't gone bad on me in the years I've had it, so this one is much better than this one. All right, next I talked about the e.l.f. putty bronzers, and if you watched my declutter video, I did declutter those. I just wasn't reaching for those putty bronzers anymore, and there are more cream bronzers that I like way more than I liked those, but I will say I do have the e.l.f. luminous putty bronzer that just came out about a month or so ago, and I have really been enjoying using this. I do have this on my face right now as my bronzer, but there's another but. There is one more bronzer I like more than this. Where are you? That is from the drugstore. If you're looking for a good drugstore cream bronzer, you gotta try the Makeup Revolution one. Oh my gosh, Kelly Gooch raved about this, so I ended up buying it, and this is the best drugstore cream bronzer I have used. I like it almost as much as like my Rare Beauty bronzer stick, my Say Sun Melt bronzer. Like, this is a good ass cream bronzer. So the original e.l.f. putty bronzers have definitely been replaced either with the luminous one, but if you want something just even better, get the Makeup Revolution one. The next favorite I had is the Kosas Cloud Set Powder, and that is definitely still a favorite. I actually have two right now, but I will say, I hate the freaking packaging, and I said that in my original video, which was so funny to me. The lid like comes off. It's just, I don't know what is so janky about this. This is actually my second Kosas powder, and this one's my third. So the first one that I had, like, that happened to the cap, and now it's happened to my second one. I don't know what is so wrong with this packaging, but it's now happened to 2 out of my 3. So I'm just waiting for that to happen to this one. But packaging aside, I do love this powder for all over my face. I have more normal to dry skin, so I don't like something that's too mattifying. So I love this powder because it sets my makeup beautifully, but it doesn't make it too matte. You can still kind of see a bit of a glow when you use this powder, so I just love how lightweight it is. I use a fluffy brush to apply it all over, and I've loved it since 2021. We're in 2023, so still a favorite. My next favorite was the Huda Beauty cream lipstick in the shade Buttercup, and I just posted a video the other week where I tried on all of my lip products, and in that video, if you saw my Buttercup, I actually like dropped it and broke it sometime last year, I think, so I don't have it anymore, but I love that lipstick so much. I still used it all the time. It's a beautiful like kind of baby pinky nude lipstick. I remember like only wearing that lipstick in 2021, so is it still a favorite? I don't know if I'd say favorite, but it's very up there at like top of the list for me. I actually might rebuy it because I don't have it anymore, so if that kind of says something, there's that. I did talk about another lipstick in that video, and that is the Urban Decay lipstick in the shade Oat Milk. I was having like a nude lip trend in 2021. Like Oat Milk and Buttercup were my two go-tos. I would mix them together all the time. I am wearing Oat Milk on my lips right now, and by itself, like, it's a pretty nude color, so I did top it off with my Fenty Beauty gloss in Fussy, but I do really like the formula of this, so I think I would say it's still a favorite because I do grab for it all the time if I want to kind of lighten my lipstick or kind of as like a mixer shade, so yes, it's still a favorite. Okay, and then I did a little shameless plug in my favorites video, and I talked about my Bright Lashes half lashes because in 2021 I launched my half lashes Flutter and Flare, and oh my gosh, you guys go crazy for the half lashes. The half lashes are my best sellers by far, and now I actually carry 4 half lashes. So I have Flutter, Flare, Vivid, and Flirt. They came out in that order. Today I'm wearing Flare on my eyes. I did chop them even a little bit smaller just to have just like a little bit of woof right out there, but they're just so dang pretty. So if you're someone who's kind of scared of trying a full strip lash, or you just don't like the way that a full strip lash looks on you, try half lashes. I'm sure you'll love it. They're so much easier to apply. Most of the time you don't even need to trim them. With mine you can trim them if you need to depending on your eye shape, but my favorite thing about them is that they don't stab the inner corner of your eye and they don't like lift up throughout the day. They stay in place really, really well just because they're right out here, you know, like when your eyes water, it's not touching that glue at all. So I love my half lashes. They are still a favorite for me and for you guys as well. The last favorite I talked about was the Anastasia Brow Freeze, and that has been replaced with the NYX Brow Glue. I think I did really like the Brow Freeze for a while, but I remember just not liking the packaging because it was really hard to like dig your brush into the pan to load it up with product, and it was a little messy. So sometime last year I ended up switching to the NYX Brow Glue, and it is so much cheaper, so much easier to use, and you really control like how much product you want and like how stiff you want your brows. That sounds weird to say, but you know what I'm talking about. I think I'm on like my second or third tube of this now, so the Anastasia Brow Freeze has been replaced by the NYX Brow Glue. All right, so those were all of my favorites from 2021. I think some were definitely replaced, but some are still a favorite, so I feel like that's pretty good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.